Hello and welcome again to the Hellraiser blog. Today's Hellraiser blog we're going to look at Badou Jack against Adonis Superman Stevenson. Very interesting fight, and we're actually going to do two blogs this week. Stevenson versus Jack I'm doing because a subscriber to the Hellraiser blog specifically requested it. If you're not subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button if you enjoy the blogs, and make plenty of money with us, as we've all been doing for some time now. Okay, so Adonis Stevenson versus Badou Jack, a very interesting fight. Stevenson I've known right back from the amateurs. He was actually boxing when I was boxing in the same weight division as me, so I always used to watch him. Incredibly strong guy, very unusual. He's a southpaw, quite short, 5'11" I think, and his reach 77 inches, so he's got a massive reach, long reach, and it's very interesting because normally a short guy, you expect them to want to fight at short range, to get in close, but because his arms are so long, he actually boxes, he prefers to box at long range, Adonis Stevenson. So, quite interesting sort of contrast to what normally you get from a short boxer. He's also, I would call him a pressure fighter, pressured because he's such a stiff arm puncher that you've got to be on your game constantly. He keeps the opponent working 3 minutes around. And I mean, as we saw with the Bellew fight, Tony Bellew, 6'3", 74 inches reach, who we just saw box David Hay, and we predicted that one correctly on the Hellraiser blog. For me, Bellew's tactics are actually sound. He moves to his left and keeps his left hand over top of Stevenson's front hand, but he loses pretty much. I mean, there is a knockdown. For me, it's a genuine knockdown. It's ruled as a slip in the fight, but Bellew knocked Stevenson down. It was a genuine knock. It's not a heavy knockdown, but he knocked him down. Other than that, he lost every round. To me, his tactics were sound, but he was just getting beat. But at least while he stuck to his tactics, he had a chance of turning it around, and he was frustrating Stevenson, no question about it. He was scoring some brownie points, even if he wasn't winning the fight. He was sort of leaving his mark. All of the bad moments for Tony Bellew come in that fight when he ditches his tactics of moving to the left and starts to either... There's two things he does where he comes unstuck. One is to hold his feet, he stands still and starts to work, and every time Stevenson's just too strong for him and you know, bullies him around. And when he moves to the right, that's when disaster really struck for Bellew. Although you could say one of the knockdowns, or at the end, he does actually move to the left, but it's all set up by Bellew's decision to take a step to the right, gets caught. Stevenson is adept at chopping the ring off when he's got a man hurt. He's a concussive puncher, as Bellew then found out, gets beaten around like a ragdoll really. I mean, he's lucky to come out of there without getting absolutely iced, because Stevenson gets his range perfect and really hurts him with a couple of shots. And the people say it's the last thing to go is the punch, and this is I mean, there's a lot of, for me, misconceptions with this fight. Firstly, that Stevenson's in decline. I'm not saying he's not in decline. I'm sure he's not quite as quick as he was like a few years ago, but he's only boxed once in the last 12 months against Fonfara, and it's a total anticlimax, the fight. I mean, Virgil Hunter comes in and pulls Fonfara out, and Fonfara, to me, didn't look badly hurt. I mean, why are you in a world title fight where maybe it's worth taking a chance? I mean, I'm the last person to say, oh, should have gone longer, should have. He knows his boxer, he pulled him out. But to me, how it looked was he's ended it too quickly. You know, his boxer's trained for the fight. I'm sure he's fit. He deserves a chance to, you know, in the first fight, it's a good fight, it's a competitive fight. He deserves a chance to ride the storm and hopefully come back. It is a world title fight, and it's worth taking that risk. I mean, Fonfara isn't like wobbling around the ring completely, you know, stumbling around drunkenly. He's just getting out bustled, and the fight stops. Well, it's stopped. He's pulled out. This fight we've got here, and my subscriber who asked for this, I've got a feeling, well, I know, is looking to bet on Badou Jack. Now, I'm actually going to advise him not to do that. Reason being, boxers normally revert to type, so each boxer has a set of rules to themselves, if you like. If I fight a counter-puncher, I do this. If I fight a heavy-fisted pressure fighter, I do this. Well, let's look at the fight between Badou Jack and James DeGale and use that to work out what Badou Jack's going to do here, because again, that's a southpaw. James DeGale, I'd say, is slicker on his feet than Stevenson, but still it's a southpaw. And Badou Jack's chosen tactic is to stand pretty much still and try and cut off the ring, and then stand still and work inside against James DeGale. Probably good tactics against DeGale. If he does that against Stevenson, I think he's massively loading the dice against himself. Standing in front of, like as I just said there with Tony Bellew. Tony Bellew goes to box, he does fine. He starts to choose, or maybe through tiredness, to hold his feet that little split second too long. He starts getting picked off. He then starts moving to his right and gets badly rattled and stopped. If Badou Jack goes and stands in front of Stevenson, he's giving Stevenson that opportunity to take him out of there. And my gut feeling is that is what's going to happen. I think that we're going to see Badou Jack stand that little bit too long, because that's what he does. That's what he's hardwired to do. Against most fighters, he can do that. And it's not inconceivable that could not work against Stevenson, especially if Stevenson is, as lots of people seem to think, in decline now, probably because of his age. He's 40 years old. But for me, firstly, there's the misconceptions you've got is that people are sort of taking it for granted. Oh, Stevenson's 40 years old, Badou Jack's coming up, therefore, you know, this is like Badou Jack's like stepping stone towards, you know, further greatness. I don't think that there's anything I've seen in Adonis Stevenson so far that says that he is actually in decline. Probably is slightly slower, but not that he's like a ragged or shot fighter. Secondly, this thing that, oh, Adonis Stevenson, all he's got is a straight left. He has a phenomenal straight left. That's his best punch, for sure. But he has a lot more. He's a good body puncher. I can tell I studied him, like I say, from the amateurs I know him. He's a very good body puncher. He has a very good right hook as well. He's stopped people with the right hand, and people talk about his straight left, but a lot of those straight lefts come off the, like, he hits with the right, he rattles them with that right, bang, and then the left hook, the straight left comes through. Without the right hook, I don't know if the straight left in some cases would have been quite as effective, because it's a distraction, it's a threat, it's something that diverts the attention of his opponents and allows him to land that huge left hand that he's got. And I mean, his straight left is a one-punch knockout blow, no question about it. Like we say, it is his best punch for sure. My gut feeling is that Badou Jack's going to stand in front of him that touch too long. I think Jack is a slick fighter, but is he slick enough to avoid 12 rounds of punching from Adonis Stevenson? I'm not sure. Adonis Stevenson's got a 77-inch reach, which means that, I mean, Badou Jack's reach is 73 inches. It means that Adonis Stevenson can stand at range and land his jab more easily than what Badou Jack can, which means Badou Jack's, firstly, we know he reverts to type, as all boxers do, and he seems to be hardwired to stand in front of southpaws and fight with them. He's going to come forward. Coming forward against a guy that's got a left hand like Adonis Stevenson has, I think is extremely risky and would be ill-advised. Is probably the best way to most polite way to put it. Add to that the fact that he like against DeGale when he's boxing in Southpaw, he chooses to sit inside and work with him. I think that leaves him massively open to this left hand that we're talking about. And for that reason, I think the bookmakers got it right on this, that they've given Stevenson as the favourite, and I'm going to go with that. But you know, like I say, not to the point where I'm tempted to bet on this fight. Stevenson's a fairly heavy odds-on favourite. Jack's a capable fighter, so he could pull it off, but I'm not gonna. I don't think that he will. I think, unfortunately for him, I think he'll use the tactics that we've seen from him before, and that will cause him to get beat. Who am I? You know, I mean, I'm just a stranger off the internet. Follow your own intuition, certainly on this one than mine, because it's one that there's a lot of things that will be relevant to the result of the fight that I don't know. I haven't seen them in the gym. If you're going to bet on Stevenson, you need to know that he is now shot and in decline, rather than just guess it. Anyway, please guys, subscribe to the blog if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you again soon. Enjoy the fight. See you then. Bye bye.